Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Vedic Cultural Center in Samamish, we are gathering today to recognize some of the Srila Prabhupada's direct disciples who have been instrumental to the growth of this entire congregation. So we want to welcome you all for this special event. These three great souls, His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj, Srimati Mataji and Kantimati Mataji, they have dedicated their lives to the propagation of the holy name of the Lord and the Krishna consciousness in the entire greater Seattle area. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Let's give a big round of applause. So I just want to start with a little backdrop here. The fact that we are all here talking about this particular evening, we have to start with Srila Prabhupada. So I don't know how many of you are aware of Srila Prabhupada's journey, which is probably very important for all of us to, first of all, be thankful about his own journey and his contributions to the world. So I want to start with his extraordinary legacy. So Srila Prabhupada's journey was one of those that is unwavering faith, deep surrender, and tireless dedication to fulfilling the instructions of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So his journey started in 1922 when Srila Prabhupada met his spiritual master for the first time. So this was when he was very young. But in that one meeting, it has changed the course of the world, for that matter, forever. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur instructed him as soon as he saw him. He said, "You're an young, educated young man. You should preach this Krishna consciousness to the English-speaking world." So that was his first instruction. Can you imagine? Prabhupada took that to heart and he meditated on that for entire life. And after about 40 years, throughout this 40 years, he was completely preparing himself to fulfill this mission, that the desire of his Guru Maharaj, which is to take Krishna consciousness and spread to the Western world. So through countless struggles, both personal, financial, and family related, he remained steadfast, in his commitment to his Guru's mission. And finally, at the age of 69, this is the age when most of the people think about not moving from where they are. They're just, and in fact, my father came here when he was 54, and then after that he said, "I'll never have to visit US." So, but we're talking about a very old man. At the age of 69, he doesn't have anybody in US. It's not like he's visiting his child or his family. Of 69, when most people would retire, Srila Prabhupada embarked on the most difficult journey of his life. So in 1965, he left India alone, aboard a cargo ship called Jaladuta, and with just about 40 rupees in his pocket. 40 rupees. And no one that he knows, other than just an invitation sent by somebody that he requested to be able to visit America to fulfill his Guru's mission. So finally, he took a trunk of Srimad Bhagavatams that he, handwritten, printed. And the only thing that he relied on was his unwavering faith in Krishna. So that journey was obviously anything but easy. In fact, he suffered 2 heart attacks while crossing the Atlantic. Yet, instead of turning back, he fully surrendered to Krishna's will. In fact, he wrote the prayer, which means actually, "Krishna, make me dance. Make me dance, O Lord Krishna, make me dance as you wish." So when he arrived in New York, he had no support, no followers, and no resources, except 40 rupees in his pocket. But what he did have was pure, unshakable conviction that if he simply spoke the words of Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that people's hearts would be transformed. So that faith because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that the Lord's name will be, chanted all over the world. Just to fulfill that prophecy, Srila Prabhupada came here with unwavering commitment and complete faith in those words. So finally, after almost a year of struggle, the movement started. The Srila Prabhupada Hare Krishna movement. With tireless preaching, he traveled for almost the remaining 11 years or so across the world for 14 times. So with deep compassion and unparalleled wisdom, he inspired thousands of young men and women at that time to dedicate their lives, not just transform their lives, but to dedicate their lives to spreading the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And we are so lucky to have 3 such young souls here. So let's give again a big, big round of applause and be thankful for their presence here. Srila Prabhupada not only built temples, he created the entire Krishna conscious movement all over the world, but it was made more possible by all these young disciples of Srila Prabhupada at the time who have gone to every nook and corner of the world. So they have really created a spiritual revolution that really continues to transform. So imagine if not for Srila Prabhupada, we wouldn't be able to hear Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam the way we are able to hear. And obviously, we have to especially thank all these 3 disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And on top of that, I want to thank our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj, whose tireless efforts, he moved here in 1991. And since then, he's been meditating on how to build this entire congregation. He shares with me when I came and started hearing from him. It took 14 years before the first disciple was, really, Krishna consciousness, initiated into Krishna consciousness. Can you imagine? Yes. And in fact, Brajhari Prabhuji will be, sharing and also garlanding this special guest today. So Prabhuji is the first initiated disciple at that time. So now let's start the event. So I'd like to, mention that we'll kind of break this event into 3-4 sections. One is first we'll invite all the guests and we'll honor them and we garland them first of all, and then we'll have them share their experiences or their inspiration from Prabhupada, because this is our opportunity to hear from them directly. What I shared was just what happened before, but what we're going to hear is what was their journey and what made them really commit their entire life to Srila Prabhupada and what inspires them even today. And then there is another special thing that inspired us to actually start this event. So a number of, Prabhupada obviously not only he traveled across the world, he went to every nook and corner, and one of the countries that he visited, even when there was no possibility of preaching, he visited Russia. And he was able to luckily meet one devotee or one person whom he obviously made into a devotee. One person he met, 100% success. He made one person into a devotee. And that devotee later inspired thousands and thousands of people. So now one of those people have created a project called Prabhupada, Gift Prabhupada. It is a murti that I'll have, Prabhuji will talk a little bit more about that particular. In fact, there is a significance to the way that particular murti was created. It's not just anything artificial, but it's actually created by the coins that were collected in the Sankirtan movement in Russia and around. So there is a lot of significance to the actual movement and what that particular murti signifies. So with that being said, so I would like to welcome His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj onto the stage. And then I'd like to request Don Prabhu, please come and garland Maharaj. Please. Haribol! Next, I would like to invite Kantimati Mataji onto the stage, please. Mataji, Yeshomati Mataji, please. Yeshomati Mataji, garlanding, Kantimati Mataji, Hare Krishna. So now I'd like to invite our dear Srimati Mataji to come onto the stage, and then I'd like to request Harsha Mataji to garland her. Haribol! And then Don Prabhuji, please come. You also please, because you have been a long associate of His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj and this congregation. So, and I would like to request Braj Hari Prabhuji. Prabhu. Yes, yes, let's. Please, please, please. Let's please. And then I'd like to request Damodar Prasad Prabhu to please garland him. Haribol! So now I'd like to request both Don Prabhuji and Braj Hari Prabhuji to say a few words about the three Prabhupada's disciples, your association with them, what inspired you or what inspires you in your association with them.
Well, actually, my inspiration for this movement came before I had the pleasure of meeting these wonderful disciples. I didn't meet Srimati for really quite a while. And Kanti Mati, I met after I had been at the temple for several years. She moved back from, you were in Vancouver, weren't you? Yeah, right. But then when I started, you weren't here. Then you came back a little later. And Raja Hari, I've known him for a long, long time. In the 1970s, when I first started and being attracted to Prabhupada's words, his translations, Raja Hari and his wife Harsha became part of the temple just a couple of years after I had, and they were actually involved in Krishna consciousness before that time, but just weren't in Seattle, so they were there long before I was. The big subject right here, though, is my friendship with Hari Vilas Maharaj and the important aspect that he has played in my life, which has resulted he is my best friend, is the most succinct way that I can say it. He's made my dreams come true. This was not, when you look around and you see this palace that we have, but it wasn't always Babu Brahmachari around here. There was some real struggles, and the boat of ISKCON taking us across the material ocean was adrift. But when Hari Vilas got assigned to this temple, then things began to really change there, but also in my relationship with a devotee. You know, there are other presidents here, many, and they all, you know, were Krishna consciousness, or had that, and were great disciples of Prabhupada, but they just didn't have enough of what was needed in order to really make a difference here. And when Hari Vilas came, he opened himself as a friend to me who wasn't an initiated disciple. And when he noticed that I really did have an affinity for what we're doing here, he engaged me in all kinds of activities that improved my life tremendously. And one of my greatest dreams that he made come true was that when we bought this property, and I was part of the team that did that in 1989, 90, Vipramukhya Swami, Jagadish Swami, and myself were the group of people that bought this place. And our dream was that maybe there was a 3-bedroom rambler house on this property at the time. And our dream was that maybe in somebody's lifetime, there would be a president that was motivated that would actually build a real temple here. And we wanted to guarantee that the property was here. And Hari Vilas had that done, and one of my major dreams of my life had come true. Just as a friendship, one of the great things that I had when he first came here was he started his business of Uncle Harry's products, and I had a great time. I drove around with him when he was first getting started, and he said, Don, if you want to grow a business, you have to give free samples. And we would go to all these health stores, and he would give his tooth powder that he had developed on displays for all these different people. And that was the beginning of his business that, became a multi-million-dollar venture in time. So I'm not going to take a lot more time here, but another thing that I need to share with you is that I would like everybody that's under 20 years old to stand up, please. Everybody under 20, please stand up. It's important for you to know that you are our future, and that one of the great dreams that Hari Vilas Maharaj has accomplished here is to cultivate the children of our future, giving them Krishna consciousness, planting that seed to help you have a life that is going to be very successful. And I'm very serious at saying that. You guys are our future. And we deeply, deeply appreciate how you have allowed yourself to be cultivated and are part of this. And in the morning, when I stream the Mangal Arti, it is such a great pleasure for me to see young people at Mangal Arti waltzing around Tulsi. There is a gratitude that is just inexpressible that I've been able to relish as a result of my friendship with this man over here. Well, that's all I'm going to take your time with for now. God bless you, my friend. You're my best friend.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So I'd like to have Brajhari Prabhuji share his experiences.
Hare Krishna. I have known Kantimati Mataji since 1979 when we first came to Seattle. After a while, she started handling the kitchen downstairs. When we had the house, small house, in the temple. And she was handling the kitchen, and we wouldn't be able to step foot in the kitchen unless you had devotee attire on. If you didn't have a dhoti kurta or a sari or gopi dress, you couldn't step foot in the kitchen. If you wanted to serve, you stand outside, she'll give you the bucket, you go out, serve, come back like that. So she was very strict, but she was very fair, and she handled the kitchen like a military commander. But she was very loving. She was always helping people and always asking people to do things which they could do. Hari Vilas Maharaj, when he came here in 1991, I have been his disciple for a long time since then. And every time I talk to him, I find new and more motivations on how to keep going around in Krishna consciousness. Maharaj has a knack for seeing people, what they can do. He sees the potential in you, and then he tells you what to do. And if you do that, you're going to be successful. At one time, there were like 6 devotees in the Sunday program, 6 total devotees in the whole Sunday program. And I was talking to Maharaj, and I said, Maharaj, at this rate, the temple will close. Maharaj said, till I am alive, this temple will never close. Also, they were thinking of taking our deities to Florida and worship them there, because they said there's not enough people here. But Maharaj said, no, we are going to make sure that there are enough people. And now if you see, there's 400 to 600 people who come here on Sundays, every Sunday. So all the dreams that Don Prabhu said about Maharaj have been going on and becoming successes. And Maharaj still has dreams of making like an eco-village here and all sorts of things that he dreams about, which sometimes I look at and I say, wow, I don't think this can ever work in Seattle. But I have been wrong every time. Maharaj says something and it happens. Look at the farms we have. Look at the cows we have. People would think that in a city, the cows will not be able to survive. But look at how many cows. There's a cow right here. Priya. Kantimate, Srimate, I have not been in touch with a long time, but she has, every time she has come, she has inspired people to do well and to do well in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Actually, our family has had the privilege of spending a lot of time with Srimati Mataji over the last 3 years, particularly my daughter Sreshta. She's also into some of the arts, and Mataji is a born artist in a way, because she learned, she told us that Prabhupada, as soon as he met Srimati Mataji, so he trained her into the art of actually making the deities. So which is a very, very rare art. And she has some beautiful Radha Krishna deities. And we had the opportunity to see them in person. And obviously my daughter helped Mataji with some of the artwork. So, and that's a very rare art. And she's trained Sreshta into some of those and inspired her. So that's why she does now some of the deity painting and so on. Thank you, Mataji. And believe it or not, at the age that she is, she drives almost 1.5 hours, 1 hour at least. Round trip 2 hours. And she would come, even though my daughter at that time, she was like, maybe Mataji, today I'm a little bit tired or something. No, she would be like, I'm coming. We're doing the project today. And she would spend from morning till evening non-stop. We would be taking breaks and so on. And on top of that, she always has a sense of humor. Only if you have spent some time with her, she would be, inspiring us in terms of how to lead the life in Krishna consciousness, be happy all the time, and make everybody happy. So thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So now I'd like to request them, maybe we can start with Srimati Mataji herself to just say maybe 5 to 10 minutes about their association with Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Praskacha Desatarni. Jai, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Haribol. thought we were going to talk about the Russians bring in a special presence. Okay. So I guess I'll just tell you a bit about Prabhupada training me up to make deities. I was in Calcutta at the time, and I got a message, Prabhupada wants to see you. So I went running into his room and paid my obeisance. He's sitting there in a gamsha getting a massage. He motions for me to sit and says, Srimati, tomorrow you go to Krishnagar, and there you get some young man or someone to come to Mayapur and meet me and have them train you up to do dioramas. So the next day I went with one Bengali girl to Krishnagar, and because I couldn't speak Bengali, she could. And so we found the whole village was all craftsmen making deities. The deities were all over the place. Beautiful, beautiful craftings. One most impressive was a Durga Devi about 35 feet high. But the idea was to bring one teacher home to Mayapur to meet Prabhupada. And I got him to come with us, and he was very happy to come and met Prabhupada. And he sat there making one head of Prabhupada. And by the end of Prabhupada's talk, he handed it to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, very good. So you can teach Srimati? He said, yes, I will be here every day to teach Srimati. So that's how the diorama project started. And now they're all over the movement. And when I got back from Mayapur, I made it my first agenda was to make some Radha Krishna deities. So I ended up, after 3 tries, I finally got the bronze castings about 18 inches, 19 inches tall. Radha's 18. And so I have them on my altar. But today, I can't hardly wait to put Prabhupada on my altar. I've only had a picture of him, but I want to have a murti of him on my altar. I want to mention a little bit about the Prabhupada going to Russia in 1971. I'll tell you how grateful we are later. That's what this note says. But Prabhupada went to Russia with Shyamasundar and as his secretary, and also as one other brahmachari as his servant. I didn't know him so well, I can't remember his name. But the 3 of them had quite an endeavor to get to Russia. And Prabhupada only had 5 days to make a dream come true, his dream, or the whole dream of the whole world, because that's one of the places it started. It was 5 days in Russia. It spread throughout the whole world. And the Russian devotees are now probably more Russian devotees in Mayapur than anybody else. They are very happy to have had the first Bhagavad Gita in Russia to preach from and make so many other Russian devotees that they ended up in Mayapur and all over the world. So I'm very grateful that they saw to it that we should have Prabhupada murtis, and they apparently made thousands of them to make sure all of Prabhupada's disciples got murtis. And I can't say anything more than being grateful to receive those murtis today. I'm eager. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
It's working. You can speak. You can speak. It works. It works.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Well, I'll just keep this kind of short and sweet, like Srila Prabhupada. Back in the 60s, we were all kind of soul searching. We were teenagers out of high school. And 1965, in fact, Srila Prabhupada.
It's working, right? Yeah, yeah.
It's working? Yes. Thank you. So we were graduating from high school when Srila Prabhupada landed on the shores of America. And kids at that time were all, searching for something a little higher, a little better than the churches that we were all raised in that never gave us any answers about really who is God, only that he is the Father. And we had more questions that we couldn't get answered. And my background is such that I had no father. He was killed before I was born in an accident. So my father was a Mormon, my mother was a Catholic, and part Jewish. So I was allowed to go to all these different churches, and my mother said, you find whatever will suit you best. And nothing really suited me. So at that time, kids were taking a lot of drugs. It was hippies. And we all went up to San Francisco for the Summer of Love in 1967. And at that time, there was a concert going on at the Avalon Ballroom with all of our favorite bands, Grateful Dead, Janis Joplin, Big Brother, and all that. And we saw a poster on a telephone pole and said, well, let's go. So it just so happens, there was this little Swami, got up on the stage at some point, and all these devotees, we called them pink people because they were all wearing this saffron pink clothes. We never saw anything much like that before. And they said, gave a little talk, and we're like, we thought this was a rock concert, what's going on here? So they started Kirtan, and Srila Prabhupada was there. And I think it was Allen Ginsberg who said he was going to teach us the Swami Shuffle and showed everybody how to put their hands in the air and dance like this. And so the whole entire auditorium was chanting Hare Krishna. Well, we had no idea what that was going to result with us at that time. So the little Swami spoke, but we couldn't understand. And we went on, then the rock concert started and all that. Many, many, many years later, we found out that that was a benefit for the Radha Krishna temple in San Francisco to get a temple. So a better temple. So time went on, and we just went about living our hippie lives, and we were vegetarians, even vegans, even macrobiotic, crazy, and then we were at the Pike Place Market. We sold jewelry. We made jewelry and sold jewelry at the Pike Place Market, and a high school friend that I grew up with down the street from me was reading this book, the Bhagavad Gita. And he said, you really should check out this book. It's by this Swami. I said, oh, I know that. I saw that Swami. This is many years later. And this is how Prabhupada is manifesting. So he convinced I needed to find a school for my child. She was 5. So he convinced me to go to the temple. At that time, temple was on Roosevelt Way. And the Swami wasn't there. I was wanting to talk to the Swami about a school. I heard the Krishna people had a school. We wanted a spiritual school. So there was many changes took place in that little Roosevelt Way temple. But we started going, and I just wanted to see the Swami. Just wanted to talk to the Swami. I was a little puffed up. I wanted to talk to him personally about this school. And the devotees were just, guess what? He's coming to Oregon. Why don't you go down there with all of us and see the Swami? So we did. And there was an engagement at a Baptist church, and all the Baptists were there. I think I've told this story before. And the Swami comes out, goes up on their, I think they had an altar, I think, and he gives a lecture. And as soon as I saw him, we had gone through many gurus. We were soul searching, all the gurus, Meher Baba, Kirpal Singh, Ram Das was our friend, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, Guru Maharaji. There were all these gurus, but they just, something in our heart just said, they don't know. They don't know. We want to know, and we're asking them, and we know more than they do. So as soon as I saw Srila Prabhupada, and I had seen his picture on these books, and he had a big face on the books, and I thought this is going to be this great big man. When he walks in, the devotees were all taller than him. And he was in the middle, and they kind of escorted him up to the stage, and as soon as I saw him, I knew. I said, uh-oh, I don't know if I want to be a pink people, but this Swami knows. And it was like, I didn't know what to think, because I knew immediately if I wanted to know what he had to say about God, I was going to have to surrender. Oh, that was a harsh word back then. We were free spirits, right? So we gradually, that was it. We were hooked. Srila Prabhupada's magnetism, his knowledge, he knew more answers to questions we could never think of, ever. And reading the Bhagavad Gita answered all those questions that we had, and questions we would never think of. So there was no question of turning back. Not really. There was nowhere to go. Where would you go after meeting the pure devotee? Where would you go? Back to the Catholic Church, Mormon Church, synagogue? They didn't know. And Srila Prabhupada knew it all, everything. So he won our hearts in a lot of different ways. His love and devotion for God, Lord Krishna, his spiritual master, his love for all of us. When we found out the history behind how the struggle he did to get here at an old age like us, to bring Krishna to the West against all odds. But he had Krishna. And all of these things about Srila Prabhupada just made him more and more and more glorious. He's one without a second, the Jagat Guru. It wasn't hard to surrender. And when we saw the deities, the first deity I ever saw was Lord Jagannath. And the temple president at that time engaged me making some clothes for Lord Jagannath. Now we're really hooked. There's no way. Once we perform some devotional service, chant Hare Krishna, experience prasadam. Prabhupada is the all-star, most wonderful avatar, Shaktivesha avatar, to come and give us Krishna. And I'm so happy to see all of you. When we first came, we were so few. And to see the temple flourish like this, and have so many wonderful devotees and a wonderful, wonderful Guru Maharaj to lead you, I just want to thank you so much for all your service and your love and devotion. Come and see the Lord and render some devotional service. Read Srila Prabhupada's books. That's the best thing. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I was kind of blindsided with the notion that I come up with some things with my other friends here, and I was only asked about this man's effect on my life. So I want to take a second here. Braja Hari is a very, very important friend of my life. You know, in 1992, we had our very first Festival of India appearance at Volunteer Park. And at my side, cooking pakoras, was Braja Hari. And though they were samosas, we made 1,000 samosas. Kanti Mati, Petraka, and Yasamari's mother and sisters all helped. We made 1,000 of these things, and Braja Hari was the cook, and he was by my side ever after. And once I was relieved from my responsibilities, he's still there. Oh, God bless you for all your help in the kitchen all the time. Kanti Mati, one of the things that she is great as a wonderful, wonderful cook, the cook of the movement. Her and Petraka together could do wonderful things. And I think at John Mostamy, they made 108 preps between these two people. And it was just some astounding feasts that we had when Mother Kanti Mati was in the kitchen. And Srimati, this dear lady, is a great, great artist that you should really be aware of. She just does tremendous work. And it's been a pleasure to see what you've been able to accomplish. So I needed to say a couple things about these other devotees too. All right, thank you.
Maharaj, if you would like to share about Prabhuji has spoken, so if you would like, yeah.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. Excuse me?
You can share some more. And then
Okay. So Don Prabhu just said that I used to fry pakoras. I used to do it for so long that Harivilas Maharaj used to call me Pakora Das. And at the end of the day when I went home, my clothes smelled of pakora. Also, I have known Kantimati Mataji so long that she did the hair cutting ceremony of my son, the first hair cutting ceremony. Now my son is 42 years old now. So that's how long I've known her. Hare Krishna. Thank you for being in our life, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is our next generation right here. And she's a very good devotee. Yeah, so the ability to engage in devotional service is extremely important if you want to have a relationship with Krishna. Devotional service is the way to connect to Krishna. That's the real yoga. Yoga means connecting, but when you engage in devotional service, you connect to Krishna. And that is the real purpose of human life. And the highest, let's say, pinnacle of spiritual achievement is to be able to be engaged in devotional service of Radha and Krishna. So this is what Prabhupada taught us. And it takes time to understand how important it is. It's not simply building a temple, but it's learning how to surrender every day to the mission of Srila Prabhupada of spreading Krishna consciousness. And little by little, seeing new devotees come and learn about the Hare Krishna movement, and eventually become steady servants in the temple, and eventually take initiation. It's like having a baby and then watch the baby grow and turn into a wonderful person. So that has been my experience in Seattle. I've seen many, many persons grow in Krishna consciousness and become very serious about chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The whole purpose of human life is to understand your relationship with God. Now, we also know the name of God. It's Krishna. We also know what God likes. He likes Harinam Sankirtan. He likes devotees who respect Krishna Prasadam. And he likes devotees who read the Shastras like Bhagavad Gita and share that with other people. All these things are learned in this temple. And the most important thing to learn is when you bow down in front of the deities and you understand the deities are not statues. They're not what you would call idols. They're real. And if you bow down reverently and pray to the deities, you are connected with them and they will bless you. And that blessing takes you throughout your whole life, and at the moment of death, you'll be able to remember the deities that you've been meditating on. It's very important. The moment of death is the most important moment in the life of anyone. And if you can remember Krishna at the moment of death, it's guaranteed that you go back to the spiritual world. And how can you remember Krishna? You have to be engaged in Krishna's service your whole life. That should be your whole life. Always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Coming regularly to the temple and associating with devotees and doing seva, service for the deities, and also hearing lectures given by bona fide devotees and taking part in our festivals, just like whenever we have an Andamela festival, we need 500 volunteers to put it on correctly. So it's very important that this enthusiasm to spread Krishna consciousness enters the heart of a person. And the rest of their life, they'll be engaged in all kinds of devotional service. And I've seen many, many people become excited about engaging in devotional service for Radha and Krishna. Our deities here are gorgeous, and they're not just idols, they are real. And you will realize that if you follow the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness. So what are those rules and regulations? Number one is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now you're in direct contact with God or Krishna. And I remember the first time I came in contact with the devotees, and that was in London. And they taught me to chant Hare Krishna. And from that moment on, I've never been able to get Hare Krishna out of my mind. I remember when I was coming back to Paris after being with the devotees in London, I was chanting the whole time. Somehow or other, it's like it entered into my mind and I couldn't stop it anymore. And I was still chanting today, and hopefully I'll chant to the moment of death. That is actually the Yuga Dharma, chanting Hare Krishna. Yuga Dharma means the recommended way to make spiritual advancement and eventually remember Krishna at the moment of death and go back to the spiritual world. So my relationship with Srila Prabhupada, I was with him many times, and every time I had difficulty breathing. I couldn't really fathom the fact that I'm with a pure devotee of Krishna. And I realized more and more that all I want to do in my life is to serve Srila Prabhupada and his devotees and always be engaged in devotional service. That's what happens when you meet a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. You can't, it's like a magnet. You become so, let's say, attached to being in relationship with such a personality that it becomes a whole lifetime of commitment and surrender. So that surrender to a bona fide pure devotee is the real experience of spiritual life. Without surrender, there is no, let's say, reality. But when you actually completely surrender to a pure devotee of the Lord, then you become a real person. Now you know who you are. Now you know what your purpose in life is. Now you know how to engage in devotional service and help many other people also become Krishna conscious. I remember when this building was not here, it was a broken down house.
Cabin.
Yeah, it was very small. There were rats, there were cockroaches, but we called it a temple. And we tried our best to, clean it. And I remember the first time we had a festival in this temple, and especially in the backyard. And at that time, people would come and they would say, "This is not a temple, it's just a house." And but that's all we had. It was a broken down house, but it became a temple by chanting Hare Krishna and having prasadam and having festivals and worshiping the deities. And eventually people understood, wait a minute, this is actually a temple. In the beginning, people would come and see a house and they'd go away, thinking it's not a temple. But if they came into the building and the land, they suddenly realized, no, this is a temple and these people are serious. Also, you have to say that the temple had a very bad, let's say, reputation. But after I came and met Don Prabhu, and he was thinking, oh, you're going to be like all the other temple presidents. You'll be here for a little while, and then you'll leave, and maybe you'll take the hundi box with you. Because that was what was happening, But with Don's help and inspiration, and also when I saw that little by little, people were coming, not in the beginning, but little by little, you have to be very patient to build a temple. You don't build a temple with bricks. You build the temple with prayers. So I was praying all the time. My wife would always say, let's go back to where we came from. You'll never get anybody to join the temple. It took up to 10 years before my dear friend here agreed to take initiation. Prabhuji was here before I came, and he would come every Sunday, and he's still coming every Sunday, right? That shows his, he's absolutely determined, and he also tells his wife, don't do anything on Sunday. We're going to the temple. So he's been here. How many years you been coming to the temple, Prabhuji?
We've been here since 1979.
"46 years, Haribol." Yeah. So he is the real, let's call it the base of this temple. He's been here longer than me, and he's been, as you would say, reverently coming every week to the temple with his family and his children. So we're very fortunate that Prabhu is here. Okay, so Hare Krishna. As far as my relationship with Srila Prabhupada goes, that's the greatest thing that happened in my life, meeting him. I first joined without seeing Prabhupada, and I also took initiation without seeing Prabhupada. I was initiated by letter. But when I did see Prabhupada, I thought he was like, before I saw him, I thought he was like Jesus Christ. But when I saw him, I realized I made a big mistake. He was much greater than Jesus Christ. I want to explain why. Jesus Christ, of course, I'm a Christian, and I was brought up as a Christian, and I'm still a Christian in a sense, but Jesus only accepted those people that followed him, that surrendered to him. However, when I saw Srila Prabhupada, he was accepting everyone, whether they were surrendered to him or not. And like, for example, there are people who have never taken initiation from Srila Prabhupada, but they're still following him. And he never, rejected anyone. He was merciful to every person that he met. And he gave them his full attention to become Krishna conscious. And especially if you can see all the books Srila Prabhupada wrote, he did that at night every day for 11 years. And he produced so much Shastra that it'll take a person several lifetimes to read all the books that Srila Prabhupada wrote. And he did that at night for at least 11 years. He sacrificed everything to make this movement viable and to expand it and set it on such a solid, rock of determination that it's growing more and more every year. That is the potency of one person who's a pure devotee. Prabhupada energy and, his inspiration is still going on. And people are becoming devotees all over the world. He went around the world 14 times in 11 years, preaching Krishna consciousness. And he dedicated all his energies to spread this Krishna consciousness to please his Gurudev and the entire parampara of the Vaishnavas. So Prabhupada is special not only as a guru, but he is the what you would call the person who has spread the movement all over the world. All the other previous acharyas in the Krishna consciousness movement preached mostly just in India. A few came to the United States or other places, but they never made a major, let's say, intrusion into other countries. Prabhupada has spread this movement all over the world. And his books are being read all over the world. And there are devotees being made all over the world now. And it's very difficult to understand how his potency is still present and increasing, not decreasing, but increasing. So there was this one person who is from the Gaudiya Math, movement. He's Vaishnava, and I was a friend of his, and he came to stay with me, an elderly man. And he told me, he said, I have to make a confession. He said, this is something you people do, meaning like Western people who are like Christians. They make confession. So he was staying with me, and I had a program set up for him. He was not a member of ISKCON, but he was his whole life a devotee of Krishna in the Gaudiya Math. So we organized a program for him. And at that program, he said, my dear friends, he said, today I want to do what you do sometimes, and that is confession. I want to make a confession today. He said, I heard with my Guru Maharaj about your Guru Maharaj spreading the movement around the world. But I was sitting with my Guru Maharaj in Navadvip, and we just couldn't understand that what your Guru did. We were talking about it, we heard about it, but I couldn't understand it. However, when I started traveling around the world and preaching also, I was shocked to see how many people in so many different countries had become devotees, and genuine devotees, by coming in contact with Srila Prabhupada. He said, this is my confession, that I didn't understand what Prabhupada actually did, but when I saw it with my own eyes, going around the world and preaching, and seeing so many devotees already there, then he said, then I understood that Srila Prabhupada is the most, what you would call intimate sadhu of Krishna, because he spread the movement all over the world. We are only eating the remnants of his prasad. That's what he actually said that. So, to understand who Srila Prabhupada is, and I use that in the present tense because Srila Prabhupada is still with us. It's through his books, through his devotees, and this movement is dramatically continuing to spread all over the world. So, Prabhupada is the most successful Indian that has ever left India and came to the West and spread Krishna consciousness. No other person, and there are some people that did come to the West, Indians, and made some devotees, yes. But Prabhupada is the most eminent, most important person that has spread the Sanatana Dharma throughout the world. And we should be very, very recognizant of the fact that he sacrificed everything and just in 11 years was able to establish the Krishna consciousness movement, and the movement is still expanding. So please, take serious interest in Krishna consciousness and feel the transcendental ecstasy of Prabhupada's teachings, his books, and the films about him, and engage in a regular way in devotional service. Come regularly to the temple and do seva and speak to the devotees and learn as much as you can about the wonderful experience of being a genuine devotee of Prabhupada and Krishna. Hari Bol.
So next we would like to have Damodar Prasad Prabhuji to share about the actual Prabhupada Murtis that the Russian devotees have sent and to recognize all the direct disciples of Prabhupada. So Prabhuji will explain the project and also invite some of the guests to hand off the deities, the Murtis.
Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hari Bol. So, when people are inspired by Srila Prabhupada, and as a token of appreciation for all the people who actually helped this movement growing and will grow and continue to grow, some of them actually decided to do something wonderful, which is what the Srila Prabhupada project. This was announced a couple of years ago in the GBCs. And before that, as Prabhu gave the context, how it actually spread in Russia. So one of the most remarkable aspects of Srila Prabhupada's mission was that he planted the seeds of Krishna consciousness in every part of the world, even in places where it seemed impossible. So during his time, that was the Soviet Russia. So Srila Prabhupada visited Russia at a time when a religious activity was heavily restricted under the Soviet Union. He was only allowed to stay for a few days, but in that short time, he met and initiated one young man, Anatoly, who became Ananta Shanti Prabhu. With just that one disciple, Krishna consciousness spread throughout Russia, even under immense government persecution. Devotees would secretly gather in small apartments, hand copy books, and risk their safety to continue their spiritual practice. Today we see the incredible fruits of that single meeting. Thousands of dedicated devotees in Russia, grand temples, and the continuation of Srila Prabhupada's mission in that region. And as a heartfelt recognition of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, a group of Russian devotees, led by Madan Mohan Prabhu, a disciple of Mukunda Goswami, has initiated the Gift Prabhupada project. So this project seeks to honor all of the Srila Prabhupada's living disciples by gifting them a special Prabhupada Murti. So there is a Prabhupada Murti in that. I'll explain a little about the project, what they did. So this Murti is not an ordinary statue. It carries deep spiritual and historical significance about Srila Prabhupada. It is made from the brass alloyed with coins from 25 countries, places where Srila Prabhupada personally traveled to spread the Krishna consciousness. So these coins were collected during the book distribution from all these 25 countries, and that's what it is. It comes in a beautifully designed box featuring a sketch of the original jackfruit tree in Kolkata under which Srila Prabhupada was born. So there's the tree etched on that. I think I read there is even the sawdust from that tree is actually put on that silhouette. So inside the box, you will find real pieces of the bark from that very same jackfruit tree. Prasad. It also includes a replica of a letter from Srila Prabhupada to Brahmananda Prabhu, meant as an inspiration for all of his disciples. So this project is a heartfelt recognition of the sacrifices made by Srila Prabhupada's disciples. And tonight, we have the great fortune of presenting this special gift to His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj, Her Grace Srimati Mataji, and Her Grace Kantimati Mataji, who we spoke about, as a token of appreciation for their lifelong dedication to Srila Prabhupada's mission. Now, we will actually proceed with the actual presentation of these three mementos to honor the three great souls who are among us here. Hare Krishna.
Request each of them to say one bit of their association.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. We just request, as they receive the memento, just speak for probably a minute of appreciating, so that we can actually send this to the Srila Prabhupada project team, you receiving it and appreciating their effort. So just under a minute. Okay. Hare Krishna. So now will request Don Prabhu. Please present the memento to His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj. Yeah, I can. Srila Prabhupada ki. He has one mic.
Please open it.
Very careful. You open it. You open it. It will actually spread. When you open it, the box will become like an altar. From that. Hare Krishna. It becomes like an altar.
It opens up like an altar?
Yeah, just carefully see how there is an outer shell. Take the outer shell.
Okay. So so there is an outer shell.
Yeah.
And then now
It's an altar.
it opens like this.
It's like an altar. It is like an altar where Srila Prabhupada is looking. Careful, Prabhu. Is it secure? Prabhupada is secure? Let. Yeah, you can keep it.
Here. I'll hold it for you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Now, I request Her Grace Kantimati Mataji to give the memento to Her Grace Srimati Mataji. Hari Bol, Srila Prabhupada ki.
It's not on.
Yeah, no, it's on.
Oh. Grateful to the Russian devotees that have made beautiful, beautiful Prabhupada. I was going to go on my altar tonight. Thank you.
Hari Bol. I request Her Grace Srimati Mataji to give the memento to Her Grace Kantimati Mataji. Hari Bol, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Tree bark.
The tree under which Prabhupada was born. So there's a sample from that tree that has been given in this bike. So it's all like a really, really memorable experience for us.
So if this is all lot of devotees, actually you also can order the Srila Prabhupada Murti. If you go to prabhupadaproject.com, you can actually order for your own self Srila Prabhupada, and you can also sponsor, because most of the devotees are actually sponsoring to the Srila Prabhupada disciples. For them it is free, but we can actually buy for ourselves, or you can also sponsor. So I will share the link at the end after the program.
I just want to say all glories to the devotees from Russia. In Krishna consciousness, there are no boundaries, no borders. We're all one under Krishna. So we've got to thank them for doing this for the Prabhupada disciples. This is incredible, a true goodwill.
The Russian devotees are very, very, you'd say, full of enthusiasm for Krishna consciousness. And many persons in Russia, any devotees in Russia, are very expert in different arts and different types of arts and crafts. That's why they were able to do this. They have used their, let's say, whatever they are expert in, they are using that expertise in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada also said, it's difficult to develop an art, but if you can develop an art and use it in Krishna's service, that is the perfection of your life. So some of the Russian devotees are very, very expert in different arts, and we want to thank them tonight for their generosity and sharing their goodwill with us. They don't even know who we are, but they want to show their gratitude for the devotees who are still alive and that were with Prabhupada. One time Prabhupada said, I'm not surprised by the devotees that have left. He said, I am surprised by the devotees who are still here. Yeah, because it's a life decision to stay in Krishna consciousness, come hell or high water, and to not be discouraged by anything, and to always have complete faith in the words of Krishna, Konteya pratijanihi, Nami Bhakta Pranasati. Declare it boldly, Arjuna, Krishna says, that my devotee will never perish. So Krishna is guaranteeing protection of his devotees. That's the best protection you can get. Hare Krishna.
I wanted to thank that devotee who this isn't working well. I wanted to thank the devotee that received the Bhagavad Gita from Shamsundar and then chose to preach throughout Russia to bring so many new devotees to Srila Prabhupada. And now we are so grateful to have received these murtis that we will have them to cherish forever. Jai Srila Prabhupada. And Jai Russian devotees.
Haribol. So now we'll present a shawl. The Don Prabhu will present the shawl to Harivilas Maharaj. No, yeah, just wrap. Not like that. Not like that. Yeah. Haribol. Yeah, just put a wrap. Harsha Mataji, please present the shawl to Srimati Mataji. Now we present the shawl to Kantimati Mataji by Ashamati Mataji. So this is not the end. We actually a lot of activities planned now. So Chaitanya Sundar will actually guide you to the next level, next program.
Hare Krishna. So next we do have dances. There are 4 dances that are planned here. So there will be a dance by little children first, and then followed by dance by Matajis, and then 2 Odissi dance performances choreographed by Preeti. So please stay tuned, stay right where you are, and then we'll continue with as the dance performances are prepared. And then we'd like to once again, before we end this part of the segment, would like to again raise 3 Hari Bols to all the great disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, Matajis. So we'll open the space for the dance. So we'll have you sit here. Yeah, we'll sit here.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Everyone chant. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Harinam Sankirtan ki.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, we were running into some technical difficulties. But now we will get started. For the occasion of Gaura Purnima, we'll be offering a few dances. First, we'll be starting with a kids' dance. These small kids range from 4 to 5 years old and have recently started learning Bharatanatyam from me. The song that they'll be performing is Radha Krishna Bulbul. And this song is very special to me since this was the first song I've ever taught a dance to back in 2009 to some of the devotees here, Trisha, Akshara, Diksha, and Nila. Yeah. And I'm just really happy that I'm getting the opportunity to repeat the song again. So today, this dance will be performed by Vedhi, Khyati, Adira, Tanishka, another Adira, and Archie. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Next, we will have a dance by some Matajis. They have just started learning Bharatanatyam in the last few months, and they'll be doing a dance offering to the Sachi Sutta Ashtakam. And also, huge thank you to Shraddha Mataji and Nupur Mataji for helping with the hair and makeup. Hare Krishna.
नवगौरवरं नवपुष्पसरं नवभावधरं नवलास्यपरं नवहास्यकरं नवहेमवरं प्रणमामि सचीसुतगौरवरम् नवप्रेमयुतं नवनीतसुचं नववेशकृतं नवप्रेमरसम् नवधा विलसात् शुभप्रेममयम् प्रणमामि सचीसुतगौरवरम् हरिभक्तिपरं हरिनामधरम् करजाप्यकरं हरिनामपरम्
Hello. Next, I will be presenting the Make Pallavi. Pallavi in Odissi means blossoming. It's a pure dance segment that unfolds gradually, much like a flower blooming, building in complexity and speed as it progresses. Make Pallavi, as the song suggests, is inspired by the monsoon, the rhythmic play of raindrops, the joy of showers, and the beauty of nature, such as peacocks. Presenting the Make Pallavi. Hare Krishna, there's actually one more dance, and you shouldn't miss the next one because it has a very beautiful meaning. So the song that I'll be presenting next is Yadi Gaur Na Hoito, which is a traditional Bengali song. So the song imagines a world without Lord Gauranga, also known as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the first two lines of the song are, Jodi Gaur na hoito, tobe ki hoito, kemoni dhorita de. This means, if Lord Gauranga had not appeared, then what would have happened? How could we have tolerated living? The song asks a lot of important questions, like, if Gauranga had not come, what would have happened? How could we have tolerated life? Who would have revealed the ecstatic love of Raja? Without him, how could we have known the depth of Radha's love? So that's exactly what this song is describing, and I'll be presenting that next. This song is sung by Swarup Damodar Prabhu. Thank you.
चातुरिसा मधुर वृंदा विपिन माधुरी प्रवेश चातुरिसा ब्रज युवती भावेर भकति शकति होइतो का ब्रज युवती भावेर भकति शकति होइतो का यदि गौर न होइतो तबे की होइतो के मोने धरिताम दे राधार महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा जगते जानतो के रस सीमा जगते जानतो के गौरंगा बोलिया नागेनु गलिया के मोने धोरी नु दे गौरंगा बोलिया नागेनु गलिया के मोने धोरी नु दे वासुर हिया पाषाण दिया के मोने गरिया छे वासुर हिया पाषाण दिया के मोने गरिया छे यदि गौर न होइतो तबे की होइतो के मोने धरिताम दे राधार महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा जगते जानतो के यदि गौर न होइतो तबे की होइतो के मोने धरिताम दे
Hari Bol! Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you, Preeti, and all the young kids and Matajis. Don't leave yet. We do have a small birthday celebration, so we're going to get that. So I'd like to also mention the different sponsors for the Sunday feast tonight. So we have Shashwat and family on the occasion of son Abhai's birthday. So we're going to have Shashwat Prabhu and Maharaj, if you could lead the kirtan and for the birthday celebration. While Maharaj is doing that, I'll also mention the other sponsors. Gayatri Kolangod, again the occasion of birthday. Again, big round of applause. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And then we have Anna's Tantra. Again, birthday celebration. Hari Bol. And then Jayanti Varahan. Again, the occasion is birthday. And then Radha Adepalli Mataji. All the birthday people also can join along if you are here. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Abhay? Yeah, Abhay. Hare Krishna. Tonight we're going to celebrate. Huh?
Samskriti Mataji also.
Okay, so we have two birthdays tonight. One is for Abhay. Where is he? Hey, Abhay. How are you? All right? Hare Krishna. And Sanskriti Devi Dasi. So, the way we celebrate a birthday is by chanting Hare Krishna. You know how to do this? You like this? And Radha Mataji's birthday? She's 16 years old today. Wow. Hari Bol. Jai Shri Krishna. Go ahead, do that one. No, okay. Okay, so the way we celebrate a birthday is by chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram,